Hi, I'm Margot. Between meeting people through events in my own industry or meeting professionals by means of my internship at Wave, I've had access to some incredible people, including thought leaders and industry pioneers. Throughout this series, Stories Behind Success, we'll be getting a more intimate look into how and why the inspiring guests got to where they are today. This past summer, I had the opportunity to sit down with the incredible Malena Higuera, General Manager of Dermablend, to talk passion and how she's taking the beauty industry by storm. Here's her story. What's up, you guys? It is Margot, and I am here with the beautiful Malena.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone out there. I'm Malena Higuera. I'm the General Manager of Dermablend.
I actually met Malena when I was here for a meeting with Julia a few weeks ago. I was just so inspired by your story. You told me a bit about your background, but I was really mostly inspired by the fact that you hold a very prestigious position at a very prestigious company, but you're led by your passion and by your purpose. And I think it's very easy, especially when you're in such an amazing position of power, to kind of lose sight of that. But you're an inspiration to me and soon to thousands of people.
Oh, thank you.
So thanks for letting me into your amazing office today. I want to just pick your brain about your life and your work and your job and your future.
Oh, thank you. Well, welcome to you.
Thank you.
And welcome to everyone to what I consider home, because it often feels one of the most comfortable places to be. I love that you hit on the idea of power, because I am always quoting Spider-Man's uncle, with great power comes great responsibility. Mm-hmm. And I've reached a point in my career where I'm so fortunate and my eyes are so wide open that we all actually have platforms. You have a platform. Yeah. I'm so fortunate to have a platform where we have the power to lead with purpose and to really help change that conversation in beauty. So honestly, I'd like to pretend that 20 years ago when I started, I knew I would be here. Yeah. And the first thing I tell everyone is that it's okay. You trip a little bit. Life is a bit of a path. It's not a smooth one. Yeah. But if you stay connected to who you are, often your purpose will find you before you even know how to find your purpose.
Right. I am really excited to learn more about your path to get here, because a lot of people that watch me are either in college or entering college or just graduated. And I think you are a really great person to look at for an inspirational path looking forward. So speaking of, can you tell me briefly about your path that led you here? I know it's been a winding road, but kind of what ended you sitting at this desk?
Absolutely. So I actually, when I graduated Newhouse, so we share, she's with my alma mater.
Yes, we do.
And when I graduated Newhouse, I had a degree in magazine journalism, a minor in art history, and at that point I was really concentrating on anthropology. And you might think, well, how does any of that have to do with where I do today? Yeah. And I look back in hindsight and I realize I stayed close to what I'm passionate about. Mm-hmm. Magazine journalism was a way to actually deliver communications and the power of the authentic, written, and well-informed word. Mm-hmm. And I believe I bring that through branding and marketing and on this brand. Art history is the love of aesthetics, and I was particularly passionate about how women are represented over time and how beauty is often a reflection of sociological change, which led me to anthropology. In essence, anthropologists love and study culture. And I am super passionate about being cross-cultural, about being insightful, about being inclusive, and really also very mindful and always learning and understanding that inclusion is an ever-evolving space where more and more people you're wrapping your hands around. Right. So actually, here I was thinking I was going to cover, I really actually thought I was going to cover international war crimes on women. Wow. Landed my first internship in fashion at DNR. Wow. Thinking, you know, okay, what do these two have in common? Right. Is when I had my internship at DNR, I had a senior editor that I was reporting into. She had a lot of demand, expectations, could be perceived as being difficult. And what I saw is someone who wanted to stretch me. And I leaned in hard to that. I wasn't going to back away from what her high expectations were. And you know, she gave me the gift of every Friday having the cover and the centerfold of DNR. I was doing my own shoots off the West Side Highway, I mean, the story is about
Wow.
figuring out my own go-sees, my own photographer, my own shoot, all of that at like 19 years old.
Which I'm sure you wanted to pull your hair out, but you probably learned so much.
Oh, no, it was incredible.
Yeah.
I look back and I go, what was she thinking giving me all that accountability?
Yeah.
And in actuality, she saw something in me before I saw it in myself.
Wow.
So, Vicky, if you're out there, you go on record, you've stayed with me these years. I graduated during a time the market was a bubble burst, and I thought I had a job lined up. My job was actually unfortunately given to the private owner's son's girlfriend. So me, a summa cum laude, high type A Newhouse girl. But what did I learn from that?
Yeah.
I took the very first job I could get. Turned out to be an incredible job. It was actually in raw materials. At lipochemicals, and what did I learn there? I learned the basis of beauty from the bottom up. After that, I said, I want to go to really back into beauty, but I want to be even more informed. While everyone was kind of going on a B school track, I opted for a really interesting master's program at Northwestern, integrated marketing. And from there, I focused on direct database and e-commerce marketing. And came out landing an incredible job at Avon, coming to L'Oreal 13 years ago, where I've had 4 jobs in 13 years, and now being probably my favorite job I've ever had.
You're learning from all of these different experiences. I feel like there's definitely pressure on students my age to know what you're going to college for, get a job in that field after, and just boom, 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 start working and start being successful.
I actually have a class focused on exactly this.
Wow.
And one of the things that I try to tell my students and anyone that I mentor is that start with what you're really, really good at first. Because adding the pressure of feeling like your first job has to be the only job, or it is your absolute perfect passion, we all have to be realistic. We're all out there trying to go in the world. You probably have student loans you're dealing with. Don't put that added pressure. Go with what you're really good at, and eventually what you're really good at will help you be stronger. And when you look back, you're gonna go, oh, there's actually a thread here that if you follow your gut along the way, but you also at the same time lean into your strengths, you'll find that, interestingly enough, eventually everything kind of comes together. I want to lead for a new generation. I think we're learning to lead differently how we've been led.
Definitely.
Everyone, especially female executives, have maybe in the past made it seem perfect, or like we all got it together. But I can tell you, and I'm super honest and transparent, everything's on the table, I don't even know what I want to be when I grow up. Every day I'm learning something else I want to do, and something else, and so we were all on a journey, and if we were just a little bit open about the fact that it's a bit messy, and we trip a bit, you learn each time. The most important thing you can do is learn from the steps you take, and you only can do so with the information you have, and then you just accrue more, and you're gonna make it. I like to quote this book. It's Stand Tall with Mary Lou Mellon, and it's a book of a first grader, for a first grader. But I tell, and I honestly, sometimes they are the most enlightening. And I read it to my son, and if you ask him, I tell him every day. The book says, believe in yourself and the world will believe in you. I think that's where it starts. Just, no matter what job you have, hey, when I started in Roz, I didn't know how to make that a part of my career. It turned out to be a basis.
You used your knowledge and your experience to get to this place, but I would love for you to talk about your experience right now, where you are in your job and what you do every day, and then also how you use that knowledge and kind of put it together with passion, because I think that's one of the most amazing things that you do.
I think that it's not that I've changed Dermablend, I think that Dermablend has changed me. And I've been in beauty a long time, and I've always felt, and I really do believe, that we have a chance in beauty to have good conversations and to make people feel good. Did I ever feel that I was changing lives? I wasn't sure until Dermablend changed mine. So my story actually is, so I was, in my prior role, I had the distinct honor of being the head of marketing for L'Oreal Paris. And I got this great opportunity to hit those red carpets and be out there with incredible celebs at a time when my cystic acne and rosacea were, I mean, flaring is an understatement. And I barely sometimes could recognize myself in the mirror. And it was at a time where I'm supposed to be a boss, right? I'm supposed to be an executive. I'm supposed to be in beauty. I should hate any statement with should, but that's how you sometimes feel.
Right.
Right?
Well, especially at that time when maybe no one was talking about it.
Well, no one was talking about it. You thought it was in your past, where actually 40% of women over 40 have acne. No one talks about it in that way. No. And then I got this incredible gift of Luca. Luca was my second, and he came into the world giving me the wonderful gift of rosacea. So on top of my cystic acne, rosacea flared. I went to dermatologist after dermatologist, and I felt bullied because I was particularly against Accutane in for my personal choice. I also felt like I had tried every antibiotic for way too long, and I tried every hormone, but like I like to joke around that all it did was change my attitude and not my skin. So I was feeling like I didn't have any solutions.
Right.
It wasn't until I sat in a makeup artist chair. I sit down in his chair and I say to him, I'm so sorry I'm not giving you much to work with. And unbeknownst to me, I started actually bawling and breaking down in this poor man's chair. And he puts out Dermablend, and I start to inquire. I said, why Dermablend? He said, because from the most flawless to the most complicated, I know I have a solution. And what was actually happening in the background of my life is that L'Oreal was tapping on me to potentially come to this brand, and I wasn't sure how I felt. At that point, I'm thinking, listen, I've been around the block, guy. Like, there's just no way you're gonna work with this.
Right.
That day, he showed me that skin I hadn't seen, honestly, in years. Wow. And I realized, first of all, it was the last time I go on record apologizing for my skin, nor will I let anyone in my presence, and that means all of you, to ever apologize for your skin. And the second thing is, I come home, he did my makeup at 7 a.m. This Latina usually eats up her makeup by like noon. I come home at 1:30. I hadn't even touched my makeup. Wow. I looked in that mirror, you know that mirror in the hotel that usually makes you look pretty bad when you come off an elevator?
Oh yeah.
I was like, wait, I actually feel really good. Wow. I always say, I took a selfie and I took this job. So when I came here for the first, like on my first day, I showed my team, I said, guys, this is what you get to do every day. Can I be a part of this?
Wow.
Like, you are changing lives. Yeah. So the very first thing I did when I came on board was actually kind of change the perspective of business, because it changed me. Yeah. And I said, you know, I really do believe changing lives is the new market share. Why? If I get a chance to change a life, and then it's one more product that then gives me a chance to change 2 lives. And then I hope by 2 more people buying our products, that's 4 more lives I get to change. And this opportunity in of itself, I'm here to hopefully reach out to someone who doesn't feel comfortable in the skin that they're in. Because I promise all of you that I won't stop until everyone's comfortable in the skin that they're in. I don't want anyone to ever feel the way that I felt. And when I first came on board to discover that I was on a brand that was actually, we were created with that genesis in mind, that idea, because we had a dermatologist, Dr. Craig Roberts, who I wish was mine. He actually knew that there was this frustration that dermatology has limits. Turned to his makeup artist, Lori Roberts. She, in fact, actually launched the first women of color makeup in the 70s, as a sheer little fun fact. And the two actually birthed the brand from dermatology and artistry to deliver instant coverage solutions for all skin types, tones, and conditions. So I walked into exactly what I wanted for myself. So I come to work every day with the intention of changing a life. And if I stay there on my really bad days, that just helps me kind of stay focused and provide everyone with the opportunity to feel comfortable in their skin.
Such a big part of your company has to do with your community and community outreach, but also hearing from your community. So what types of community outreach do you do? Because I know you're hands-on as a general manager. It's amazing to see. So what are some events or experiences you've done that you are actually giving back to your community?
Absolutely. I think it first starts with the way that we choose to communicate, first of all. I had always felt this pressure of before is bad and after is good. So we actually launched what we call the Beautiful, Beautiful Portraits, which you see behind you, which is the idea to demonstrate that I'm not here to tell anyone how to feel. I'm here to give you the tools of empowerment and celebrate the power of choice. That you're beautiful with you're beautiful without. I'm here for all of it. And by the way, I even love when I get stories that people tell me, I was struck with acne. I didn't know where to go. I went with Dermablend, but now I feel really good and I don't need to cover and I don't use Dermablend anymore. And I'm like, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I will celebrate as equally the day you start wearing Dermablend as the day you tell me I'm good.
Right.
So that's first, right? That's all about how the brand chooses to communicate. But it's also really important is how we are actually creating the space to listen. One of the things that I'm really trying to push myself and my team for is our consumer call center sends us near weekly reports from consumers of that week, and we read them. I personally read all of them.
Yeah.
And like, if you'll see, and eventually you'll probably look around my office, we have letters from people contacting me saying, we had a young woman, Allison in Michigan, who unfortunately was she was a burn victim. She had a epileptic seizure while flat ironing her hair, which caused her to singe a lot of her face, and she didn't want to leave her home. And when she actually in fact started a GoFundMe page to try to get Dermablend products. When she wrote us and we found out about that, I sent Cynthia, which was at the time one of our makeup artists here in New York. We connected her with the Phoenix Society, because what's very important to me is that we are providing solutions of empowerment and tools, and it's not just the product.
Right.
It's the service, and all of it can come with it.
Right.
The Phoenix Society is a great resource for burn victims. We brought us together to her home, and I told Cynthia, don't you leave until she can do her makeup herself, because I'm not about that one moment. I'm about giving you a tool to go every day. And you know, the next day she sent me a picture of her doing she had already done her own makeup in her car. You know how you lower the window and you put the radio up and just have freedom? That's an experience that I get to share on our brand. We have so many, I honestly cry on this job once a week.
Yeah.
It is literally a part of who we are.
That's absolutely amazing.
I often think about what's the most important part of Dermablend, and what I love to reflect on. One of the things that's so powerful about Dermablend are our communities, and how varied and how many communities we have to take care of each and every day and continue to grow with.
Yeah.
And one of those communities really is the LGBTQ+ community. There is so much opportunity for brands to really celebrate the diversity and inclusion that is growing and building in this community. We could not be more proud.
Right.
And it's coming to us from one-on-one stories. You know, because we have such wonderful coverage, we are helping people cover 5 o'clock shadow. What that's not often talked about is when you're in transition, the hormones you need to take can wreak havoc on your skin at a time that you're trying to put your best self forward. So we are here for that. We're always listening. We really approach it humbly. We try to do our best to ensure that we think of the person first and not the consumer.
What I admire about you, and also about Dermablend as a company and a brand, is that you guys do walk the walk. And I think I was here around Pride Month, and there are all these brands just throwing rainbows on their storefronts and joining the parade, but it makes me wonder, what are they actually doing? So I think it's amazing to see that you are handwriting letters to these people, you're sponsoring people to come into the US. I mean, the list goes on of the actual things that you're doing. But the question that I have for you is, if somebody who might not be interested in beauty or doesn't have access to work at L'Oreal in the near future, how can somebody find a job, maybe a young person, that fits their passion and that they can see that there's actual change happening? Because I feel like it's so easy to just Google a company and see what their passions and purposes are, but to actually find brands that are really making a difference can be hard. So how can a young person navigate that world?
I think it starts with already going to who you're following or who you look up to or who you admire, and having the courage to reach out. Whether it's fortunately and unfortunately, there are a lot of resources, and it can seem overwhelming. So finding, for example, leaders, and I open it up always that we could be found on LinkedIn. You would be surprised. I get a lot of direct messages saying, hey, I saw this article and I was really interested in what you're saying and doing. I have a particular passion for representing for the Latina community, so I'm always really connected there. A lot of us are really hungry to be a part of the next generation's journey. So number one, like, reach out, have courage. You would be surprised. What is the worst thing that can happen?
Right.
We forget to respond, or maybe someone says no love lost.
Right.
You move on. Also, take a look at how brands are connecting or how our brands are replying. How do you feel about what they're saying back? And if you're really interested in that, contact us. You would be surprised. We do, for example, on Dermablend casting calls. We love to really just showcase people who have written to our brand, who say they use us and they love us. Reaching out, again, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
I think oftentimes it must feel so overwhelming now. I didn't have the tools that you have. These tools are amazing, but don't forget the sheer power of word of mouth, of reaching out, of people who really do want to give back, and brands who want to give back. I would love to hire people who want to be here.
Right.
Because it's, what we do, being a, I like to call us a small giant. We may be small, but no one sees us coming. But being a small giant means, like, hey, we have to wear many hats. So I need hungry people. I need people that want to be part of the brand. And I know a lot of GMs and other executives would say it's absolutely the same thing.
Right.
I take this opportunity to share a story of Shannon on my team. I had perfectly good candidates. There was someone whose resume I would arguably might have seemed to fit.
Right.
But what she did after was send me a thank you by creating an Instagram account to say thank you with types of ideas for Dermablend. Now, she will never show it again. She feels like her work has improved.
Wow.
But I hired her, and guess what? She's fantastic.
That's amazing.
So it's just taking steps to kind of break out,
right.
Stand out a bit.
Right.
It just like Marilyn Mellon, stand tall. Believe in yourself and try something a bit different.
Yeah.
So that you rise above the kind of the noise and the clutter. I believe positive energy begets positive energy. If you approach it with that, you would be surprised you're going to attract some in return.
Right. So we're actually coming in on a very exciting day, and I think you guys are going to be really excited about this as well. So I'll let you have the big announcement, but this did launch the day that we're filming.
Yes. You came to us on a really important day for us, because today Dermablend Professional announced that we are now PETA certified cruelty free.
Amazing.
And what's so important to me, and when I say this, it's to my entire team, was the secret sauce behind this brand. What's important is that it's a validation of what has been and what is an ongoing commitment against animal testing for our brand.
Yeah.
And we did this because we stand for skin security standards, right? We want everyone to feel secure in the choices that they're making for their skin, but also in their choices for cruelty free.
Yeah.
And that was an important part of it. And in addition, as part of this step of receiving the certification, we also wanted to make sure that we were approaching it fully integrated and holistically, and we're able to announce that we're also, as of this summer, manufacturing 100% vegan friendly.
Wow, that is amazing, and thank you personally, because that really means a lot to me. And it's just another way that you guys are disrupting the industry and just making a huge impact on humans and animals now.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me and talk to all my viewers. You are making such a huge impact in this world every day that you're coming in, so you really are an inspiration, and I hope to find as much passion that you have in my future endeavors. I really look up to you, and future new house gal.
That's right, that's right.
If people want to reach you or see what Dermablend is all about, I'm gonna leave the links in the description so you guys can do that straight from this video. Thank you though.
I have no doubt in you. I believe you are using your platform for good.
Thank you.
And you have a strong voice, and you're well on your way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Well, I'm Latina. I'm Cuban.